Yes, yes, yes. And we are on, and we're back, and we're back, and we're back, and we're back, and we're back. Hey, everybody. Hey, my well life community, my well life family. Hey, y'all. Happy 2020. We are back together. Happy holidays to you. I'm trying something new out. Oh, it showed up. Happy 2020 to you all. New year, new decade, and guess what else? A leap year. So we have an extra day in February. This is a leap year. This is a very special year. Not to say other years are not, but I believe and feel something very special about this year, and I'm excited about it. I am thankful for it. And so let's see, I'm dwindling a little bit with the live podcasting. Welcome to the Well Life Podcast. It is your well woman, Lashana of Lashana Leonard Moore LLC, Health, Wealth, and the Abundant Life. And I am so very glad to have you joining me. I'm glad that we are back together. It's been holiday. We've been on our holiday break, and I've missed you guys. I've had a lot on my mind, and of course, a lot going on in life and around all of us that I've wanted to talk to you about. And this is our opportunity to do that. So the Well Life Podcast, this is our, oh my Lord, season 3. I believe this is season 3 of the Well Life Podcast. We are moving right along. Our fellowship is, I don't call it a fellowship. Our fellowship is growing and blooming. Hey to all of the returns listeners and watchers, if you're watching live on the vlog via the Well Life TV on YouTube, or if you're listening, my Well Life listeners, hey y'all, I wish you health, wealth, and the abundant life. The podcast, the Well Life Podcast, is all about making sure that you eat well, think well, and live well. And every time we come together, the goal is to elevate that, to elevate where you are in your life, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that is my commission with being with you, interacting with you digitally and in this cyber world. So I am happy. I feel good. I feel great. I am thankful. That doesn't mean that life is great. I want you to understand when people say that, doesn't mean life is perfect and flawless. You know, there's still a few things in life that are a little raggedy. For example, these brows. But to be honest with y'all, I'm not a big makeup person. I really don't get concerned about it until I have to do something media oriented. So, you know, I gave you a little lip. Got my baby sideburns working. One thing I am going to do, I've been totally content with my hair, but I am going to focus on giving her a little more growth this year. I'm serving ponytail tonight. I am going to focus on putting a little bit more time and effort in growing the mane a little bit. I am sporting my Wonder Woman sweatshirt tonight, given by my girl, my sister friend, Carmi Crawford. Hey, Carmi, if you're watching or listening, you know your friends know you, right? When they like text you and be like, yo, I'm in such and such store. I see a Wonder Woman tee. Do you want it? Like they already know those little things about you, your little passions. It's always the little things. I was like, girl, you already know. Hop on that. So yes, this is my Wonder Woman tea. Thank you, sis, for that. And how are you? Let's take a deep breath. Our wellness check-in. Inhale deep. Exhale. How are you? This podcast is dedicated toward holistic life, meaning the total you, the whole you, how you are mind, body, soul, and spirit. In the kitchen right now, I just finished my brown rice. I'm making a salmon fried rice tonight, inspired by Kevin of Fit Men Cook. And I am doing okay. 2019, upon the close of the last season, I talked to you a lot about my lessons on 2019. And then also, if you are keeping up with me rather on the blog with ShannonLeonardMoore.com, I've talked a lot about 2019 and those lessons. So listen, I count it all joy. I'm thankful. I'm blessed. Life is not perfect. I've learned and become content that it doesn't have to be. I'm learning. Your girl is learning how to open her hands a little bit and stop clenching the wheel of life and letting God be in control. Even the mysterious parts of God that I have no clue what He's doing, when He's doing it, how He's going to do it. But I have really learned how to release control and let Him be exactly who He is. And even in the mysteries, this I know I'm growing, because even in the mysteries of God, no matter how much we teach it or preach it or sing it, I have learned to be okay. I've learned that everything is not going to be known. Sometimes I think, here's a side trail. I think sometimes as believers or Christians, we get so obsessed with having to figure everything out and having to have an answer for everything. And God is saying, listen, this is a life with me. This is a journey with me. I've got so much of me to teach you, to show you, to expand to you. I've got so much life and life lessons to carry you through. I've got so much sovereignty and grace and love and mercy and long suffering to give to you. Just relax and let us journey. And y'all, I'm learning to do just that. Relax and journey through it. So, holiday recap real quick was real chill. Thanksgiving was for the family. Christmas was my sweetheart and I and our little boy who's upstairs. Prince, you want to come down and say hi? He needs to, because he's looking good and groomed right now, y'all. Most of the time, my baby be looking so old. He be looking old and homeless. I need to show him off right now. Why? Oh, he coming downstairs. Coming. Come here, Pooh. I should show him off while. Come here, baby. Come here. Come say hello. While I have a chance. If y'all are listening, you got to go to the Well Life TV so you can come see my baby. Come here, boo boo. Come say hello to everybody. And so, let me get him. Say hi. Let everybody see how handsome you look. Say hello. He thinks he's gonna stay up here on this couch. He's not allowed on the white couch, but I'm gonna let him sit on my lap for a minute. Look. He looking around trying to find where he gonna get comfortable. Anywho, Jean and I celebrated 1 year anniversary, December the 1st. Yes. Thank you. And thank you also. We had such great feedback and such a great response to our podcast. The last one of the year, available, of course, on the podcast Well Life and on the Well Life TV. And so thank you so much. We just really wanted to be very honest and practical and share with you how God has blessed us and graced us through journeying through our first year. And now we are moving on into that sophomore year. Boy, we doing this thing. I had a moment. I was like, okay, babe, what do we do now? Like, where's the consolation prize? Hey, y'all made it 365 days. He was like, we keep going. And I was like, yeah, we do, huh? So we hitting that sophomore year. We journeying toward the sophomore year. 2020 focus for me, honestly, one day at a time. I know that doesn't sound very ambitious. I am learning what to plan, and I am learning what to give God the reins and I am learning how to allow life to speak to me and for the Spirit of God to speak into me. And the plans that I know that I should be working on, pursue them. The things that I don't know what He's doing, or if I'm in transition of some sort or at an intersection, it took me a minute to stop being anxious about it, but I learned not to be anxious. Be anxious for nothing. But I have given my cares, my cause, and my purpose over to God. What else do I have? I've learned to take it one day at a time. What Pastor Tony Evans in Dallas, Texas, what he taught me. I have 3 things to share with you about 2020 focus. That was the first one. One day at a time. The word reminds us, give us this day our daily bread. And that's my prayer. What I need for today, just like the prayer of serenity, what I need spiritually, mentally, physically, psychologically, emotionally, in my five love languages, God, in my walk, in my talk, in my thinking, when my eyes pop open. Give me this day my daily bread. That's where I am. And I know that in praying that particular prayer that way, that there we are. I know that in praying that particular way, I'm leaving room for God. Pastor Tony Evans, here's lesson number 2, taught us, as you know, some of you who are in the church sector know that he lost his wife to a very rare cancer a day or two before New Year's, and Jean was booked to be there to minister for both of their New Year Eve services. And I tell you that experience touched me in a way, oh my God. You know, they both made 70 this year. They were getting ready to make some plans post 70 into this new phase of life. And the children, of course, are grown, and some are grown and married. And they learned earlier within the year that her cancer had come back and aggressively. They were believing God for her healing. But to watch how they went through this and to watch their stance after she passed, and she had made the decision that it was time to go on and be with God, listening to him, and he said, make your plans. You know, you should make your plans. You should think big. You should be ambitious. You should pursue it with faith and with excitement and fervor. But leave room for God. And always say in all of your planning, if the Lord wills. It touched me, it pricked my heart, and it really seeped into my spirit. And I said, check. Okay, God, mental note, emotional note, spiritual note. I'm pinning that within me, downloading it. I got you. Whatever the Lord wills. It doesn't discount the plans that God has for us. It doesn't discount prophecy. It doesn't discount being able to believe. It doesn't discount the spirit of hope and expectation. But within this journeying of learning more about this expansive God, his known and his unknowns, his infinite ways and his infinite wisdom, we leave room for how he wants to show up or what he wants to do. And grace comes along behind it, almost like a street sweeper, and it kind of takes care of the stuff, the human part of us, the human nature of us. That's what Pastor Evans taught me. Much love to that family. Got an opportunity to meet Priscilla, who has a wonderful ministry all her own and is also known for the very popular movie, The War Room. And I've already said, honestly, I've already gone over point 3, what 2019 and the Holy Spirit have taught me. I learned a lot through death last year. At one point, that would have really been a gloomy emotion for me as an empath, but God taught me through it. And so instead of not wasting, but coveting a lot of our time in this episode to talk about that or to recap that, be sure to go to the podcast that is titled how we setting ourselves up for 2020. It's something like that, something about 2020. Go back and listen to that. So our podcast Wellness Drive, we're driving. We are on this wellness journey. One thought that I am definitely going to be driving this year is the thought of well-being, not just wellness, but well-being. I decided on well-being because when you think about well-being, it's much more internal. It's much more me-drawn and me-centric, and not in a narcissistic way, but in a way that causes us to spend a lot more time doing a lot of groundwork within ourselves so that we can have a healthy, wealthy, and abundant life. High five. That God wants us to have. I am going to be doing a special edition on church girls. Hey, did y'all check out my blog about the church girl? I talked about, I have 2 blog entries that I would love for you to check out that are centered around church and the church girl. So I'm going to be doing a special series on church girl. I love podcasts. I love listening to Christian apologists. I love listening to women ministers, and not just women ministers. I mean, no disrespect. So I have no one specific to point to in saying this. I'm not even going to go there. But I love female ministers and leaders who really know how to speak to you and into you and not just at you. For my church girls, my church chicks who have been in this game, I use that word loosely, for a minute. You've been on this journey for a minute. I'm a Generation Xer, and I've been a church girl for most of my life. You guys like me are probably at a point to where you don't need the fluff, the pomp and the circumstance. You don't even need prophetic promises. You are journeying into leaning into God deeper, prayer, faith, daily application, stretching yourself, stretching your faith, learning how to live and journey and navigate life as you grow as a woman, as a church girl, a woman of God, and all of the other roles that you take on. That's where I'm at. I don't need you shouting and hollering at me. I don't need you to walk pews, and I don't need you to call me up for a prophecy. I am able to prophesy to myself, and God Himself speaks prophetically to me. That's not to discount anyone who has a sincere prophetic spirit or walks in the office, but I'm just saying that's where we are. So, loving to podcast and listening to podcasts during my time away from you, came across two progressive church girls who I fell in love with. And so instead of just listening to them, I reached out to them to form a relationship and an association with them. And so they will be joining me during the Church Girls series. I am excited about that. And for those of you who may not be church girls, church people, or anything of the like, you may not even be in that stratosphere. And you're curious or you want to kind of, listen into our conversation, I encourage you to. It's going to be really, really good. Also, this season, we are going to focus on a lot of holistic nutrition because, of course, as a nutrition specialist, I'm seeing, the continued struggle, which it will be for a minute. Western civilization, you know how the climate of this society and the gauge of this society is as it relates to food and fitness and well-being and everything that you should and should not do and do these and don't do this. You've probably already seen predicted 2020 trends and suggestions and the whole thing. And so I'm going to spend a lot of time or more time with you on holistic nutrition. And it starts here. It gets into here, starts in the mind, gets into the spirit and the heart. And it yields to a lot of patience and practice. Then it becomes a lifestyle. And then the other thing I said, well, let's dive into some more relationship wellness because y'all love y'all some love. I'm like, the people want the love, like my end of the year analysis and analytics and reading and all of that. Y'all love the love stuff from my posts to my messages and vlogs and all of that, your feedback, the IG stories and all of that. So this is for you and about your life and enhancing your life. So we will do more of that. Relationships, which also includes friendships, all of those things where love and practice and patience and communication with humans, with mankind. We will focus on that. Let's go to our next segment. And I am going to, save. This is for the audio podcast. There we are. Let me grab it. Okay. So our What I'm Reading segment. Again, if you follow me on IG stories, and do that because I love sharing on IG stories, even more so than posting. I shared with you, I am reading this book by Celeste Ng called Little Fires Everywhere. I have a lot of intellectual reads, and every now and then I need a good old book, adventurous book to enlighten and entertain and indulge my imagination and just my giddishness within. It's from Reese Witherspoon's book collection. And yesterday, when I was watching the Golden Globes red carpet, I was excited to hear about, Carmen, you told me this too, that you saw it there. I was excited to hear that they're getting ready to make this into a miniseries on Hulu featuring Reese Witherspoon and your girl, Kerry Washington. That should be really good. I just started on it. but it's an adventurous, explosive read, they say, with a lot of plot twist. So that's my fiction read right now. All right, I am starting a few new segments that's got some really fun tags like Socially Shan. Socially Shan is going to be what we talk about, current topics and things like that. As of right now, in the year 2020, the month of January, the US, the United States of America, is responding to the recent activity of our presidential leader in the name of Donald J. Trump. And what he did was he killed Iran's one of their notorious military leaders, Soleimani. And of course, that has sent the country in an uproar. It also sent a spike in oil, and the Dow Jones market took a significant drop. So, of course, they have vowed retaliation. We had troops deployed. It's just a big, hot mess going on right now that warrants a lot of prayer and advocating. And, you know, the Congress didn't know anything about it. Democrats were left in the dark. Of course, we as citizens didn't know a thing. We woke up watching the news and was like, what? Like, are we on the brink of a political war? Is this really happening? Personally, it's my idea that the man, of course, he is infamous for deflection. So, you know, at the end of the year, he was going through his impeachment. And, you know, of course, it has stained the title that he will carry moving forward, even out once he moves out of office, hopefully, after this election. But I feel like it was a deflection. You know, what better way to switch the narrative and change the conversation? And then what better way to go out iconically than to kill a ruthless leader? I personally think the guy wants to be a dictator himself. He has mastered the art of filibustering like none other. Did y'all catch the press conference? YouTube, but I'm sure it's available. A lot of nothing was said. And so America needs prayer right now. And those who are surrounding Congress and you know, of course, we are jokingly but seriously teasing Iran, get him. We will show you exactly where he is. We'll let you know whatever you need to know. We were not in that plan. We didn't say yes. We didn't agree to it. I know the man is infamous, Soleimani. I know he's killed many of our Americans. And of course, justice should always be done. But the manner in which this happened, the timing, no counsel, you know, he didn't regard counsel or advising by anyone. So that's what's going on. Another socially Shan topic, the Golden Globes last night, which was pretty cool. My show Power is back on last season. Last night the episode kind of left us in a doozy, but we're going to keep on watching because that's what real true Power watchers do. And then I've got to give hubby a shout out. Woo, woo. I ended last episode with the announcement. I will start the episode of the new season with this announcement that Honey Babe has been nominated for what? A Grammy. Say what? Yes, your boy has been nominated for a Grammy. So, January the 26th, we will be in LA at the Staples Center for that. He's in the category of Gospel Album of the Year. I think it is marvelous. He's probably the youngest artist in terms of in terms of artist age. No, that's worse. Not biological age, but being the newest artist on the block. G's got 20 years in the music game with a lot of notables, but this is his sophomore project as his own artist and having his own and doing his own thing. So big ups to my babe, big ups to Motown Gospel and everyone that works hard with him and for him. I am super, super stoked and excited about it. All right. My question for you in this New Year chat, what you doing? That we have is this: what brain are you going to use this year? Little notes. Hmm, that's weird, huh? What do you mean? What kind of brain am I going to use this year? Well, let's talk about it real quick. So it's totally a thing. Have you ever heard of brain typing? I'm gonna lock all this with me, like the preacher say, y'all stay with me, stay with me. Have you ever heard of brain typing? It's totally a thing. It was created back in the 1970s by a man named John Lord, let me Neanderthal. Okay, I'm not sure of his origin, but the purpose of it was for you to understand how your brain works, to understand how other people's brains work, and how to interact with people who are like you or not like you. A more famous type is the Myers-Briggs. Many of us have taken the Myers-Briggs test to understand what our personality types are, and there are over 16 types with a lot of different intricacies. So and different. Measures to each one. So for most of us, you're never just 100% one or the other. We find a mix and a blend in each of them, but you are dominant in one over the others. And so I'm going to do just a brief rundown of the four core essences of what our brain typing is, the four the four brain areas, and then I will put in the notes on the podcast and the Well Life TV. If you're interested in taking the test, I will put that link down so that you will be able to do that. But basically, we've got basal left, we've got basal right, we've got frontal left, and we've got frontal right when it comes to the areas of the brain and really how to pull out the essence of who you are and to assess those that are around you. It does matter. So when I ask you what type of brain you're going to use this year, come here, because I don't want you to get started thinking that you can chill. Yeah, you got to get down, bro. I'm sorry to disappoint you. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. All right. Get you some water. I want you to think about when we talk about health, wealth, and abundant life, and then we talk about eat well, think well, and live well, we can only do that with groundwork. There is no magic pill. That's why every year you see certain headliners, you see certain articles, certain publications, certain trends. It will probably continue to happen until the end of time, whenever that is. So we have to make a decision how we're going to pursue life and pursue the furtherance of life. So let me give you the information on basal left first. I definitely saw myself in some of these. For the basal left brain person, you prefer order, routine, process, and procedures. Your overall function is that you are a sensing person. You sense. It's a sense about something. You have a sense. Basal right, your areas: intuition, empathy, spirituality, rhythm, and harmony. Your dominant function is feel. Right here. So since I would put definitely in a cerebral category for the basal left person, for the basal right person, feeling, I would put you in the heart category. Frontal right, you are vision, creativity, imagination, and expression. And your main function is intuition. I'll put that in the spirit category. That's frontal right. And then frontal left, your areas are logic, results, structure, and analysis. Your overall dominant function is thinking. I'll put that in the mental category. So basal left, basal right, frontal left, and frontal right. Again, this is all about understanding how our minds work, how our personalities work. Y'all, that is a big part. I just spilled out my country right there and I said, y'all, did y'all hear it? I usually call y'all well life, but I just said y'all, whatever. So, our thinking, hands down, has a lot to do with how we pursue life, how we make decisions, how we choose significant others or romantic partners, how we go about the 5 cycles of wellness: physical wellness, mental and emotional wellness, spiritual wellness, social wellness, and intellectual wellness. Your mind, your mindset has a lot to do with that. So I want you to couple this area, learning what area of the brain you are. I want you to couple that with thinking about your experiences in life, your life lessons and decisions, and your spiritual compass for living. I am aware that everyone is not a God believer and does not acknowledge Jesus as Christ and not necessarily using the Bible as their spiritual guide. But we have to have a compass, because without a compass, there are no rules, there are no structures, there are no systems, there are no laws, there are no boundaries, there are no parameters. Even with the things that your mind deems as truth, or what you regard as truth and law in your life, couple what side of the brain you are dominant in with your life experience, your experiences in life, particularly those life defining moments, those things that have changed you, that have pushed you, that have nudged you, that have buffered you, or that have tormented you, that have shifted you for the better or for the not so good. The life lessons that you've learned in any of those areas, and within those life lessons, the decisions that you have made because of what you feel you've learned. And then determining what your spiritual compass is, because your spiritual compass is really going to have the overall voice and say so for in the momentum that you move forward in, how well you move forward, what direction you move forward. We have to have groundwork to change, to elevate, y'all, to enhance this life of ours within peace, chaos, the unknown, the intersections, the unsearchable. We have to do groundwork. We have to do groundwork. And so it requires, here's a bullet, a daily mind renewal. This is our 2020 New Year chat. This is what we're going to have to do. New year, new decade, leap year. What are you going to do to decide how you're going to live? It's going to require rehearsal, practice, repetition. Nothing is overnight. And for the most part, I would even say for some of the changes that you are planning on making or keeping consistent in 2020, the mental groundwork really needed to be happening in 2019, but it's not too late. We're having this conversation now in order to do that. Shifting the degrees of life doesn't have to be a dramatic shift. Again, little by little. Y'all hear me talk about me being a bing, bang, boom it girl when it comes to certain things like cooking, especially baking. And so I used to bake cookies with my mom, and I'd be whipping the batter up so fast. I was ready to just get it done. And mama would always say, Shan, easy does it. Easy does it, Shan. And so I say that to myself oftentimes now with certain things. I boomerang it to you now. Easy does it, well life. Easy does it. Everything does not have to be overnight. Be mindful, red alert. Be mindful of those things or those people that make you feel rushed. Now, I know there are moments and times in our lives where urgency is necessary, but be mindful of feeling rushed. And for you Christians, the Holy Spirit never rushes you. There's a balance of the human and the supernatural. Never rushes you. So we are shifting the degrees of our life because we want to live elevated, well life, mind, body, soul, spirit. We want to eat well, think well, live well. We want to live healthy, wealthy, and abundantly, which is more than money and finances. But what shifts do we need to make our space, people, with conversation and with thoughts? This is a spiritual journey that we are questing in a very grounded, educated, logically driven world. You have to know that. When it comes to setting principle and belief, you got to know that you are living within a grounded and educated and a logically driven world, because the world is saying, prove it. How do you deem this as true? Which is requiring the church, particularly, to go back to their roots, the beginning of the yes, the beginning of the understanding of creation, to have conversation. Whether you convert a person or not is not the focus. It is bringing integrity and respect back to what you say you believe. Anyway, that was a side note. Your brain and your body and spirit will have to meet and agree. I'm asking you, how are you using your brain this year? What part of your brain are you using this year? What are your goals? And not just goals, but what kind of life do you want to have? We watched Lady Lois Evans celebration, homegoing celebration today. They live streamed it. The church live streamed it. And at someone's funeral, you can always get an idea of the kind of life that they lived. And hopefully people don't have to, they don't have to plagiarize, but they can speak honestly about a person. So, what kind of life do you want to have? That's why I said life is good for me. I'm not about to complain. It doesn't mean it's perfect. There's some ratchet stuff still need to be fixed. There's some raggedy stuff that still needs to be fixed, but life is good. I'm good. My spirit is good. My mind is good. My God is good to me. I don't have no complaints. I'm dealing with this day, my daily bread. So your brain, your body, and your spirit have to be in agreement. They've got to meet and agree this year for change. I want to be talking to some people who are about change in their lives for the better. Who else can you be serving other than me, myself, and my agenda? So, in closing, I want to leave you with something. I will eventually have an engineer, y'all. Until that great and grand day. In closing, I'm going to leave you with these. I love this guy. This is going to be my next read. I'm going to recommend it to you. Bill Johnson. I'm going to leave you with these questions and these statements that he proposed to us. It's from his book, The Supernatural Power of a Transformed Mind. Oh, this man. I love apologists. I prefer that over. I prefer that approach over traditional lectures. Anyway, Bill Johnson says it's not whether or not you are going to heaven, it's how much heaven or hell do you want in your life right now. Can somebody please snap with me, please? How much heaven or hell do you want in your life right now? I will probably Facebook this. It will be a post. Oh, it's going to be a post. The people need to hear this. All right. Revelation, here's the other one. Revelation enlarges the arena that our faith can function in. Revelation. Revelation takes it out of your hands of what your opinion is, what your estimation is, what your thesis is, what your idea is. Revelation enlarges the arena that our faith can function in. Everybody's got faith. Whether you realize it or not, you're living by faith. Deception, here's the B part. Deception shrinks our area of faith. So let's piece all of this together. I've asked you the question of what brain are you going to use this year? I've given you some idea according to Mr. John about the four essences of the brain's area. I've asked you to consider your life experiences, your lessons and your decisions regarding those, and your spiritual compass. Now, we don't want a perfect life, but we want a wise life. We want a fulfilled life. We want a fruitful life. So we don't want deception to shrink our area, our pool of faith. I got one more for you and then we out. God has hidden mighty and mysterious things for us, not from us. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to extract it for another episode that so that we can just deal with that right there. It may be under Church Girls episodes, but guys, you are more than welcome to listen to it. I'm going to say it again. The last one. God has hidden mighty and mysterious things for us, not from us. Meaning that nothing that he does is to be harmful, rude, cruel, or crude. It is always for our betterment, for our growth, for our expansion, for our wisdom, to maximize life, to maximize relationships, to maximize faith, understanding, and belief, to know what to do with ourselves in this world. So 2020, as 2020 New Year chat comes to a close, I want you to ponder these things. That was a lot to consider. I want you to ponder it, replay it, and do share it. While I'm at it, do subscribe. Just like faith comes by repetitious hearing, whatever it is that you're looking to change comes by repetition. One of the quotes that I learned when I got into fitness is that repetition is the mother of skill. Do you want to increase prayer? Do you want to get interested in prayer? Do you want to go after something that you put off? Do you want to pick something back up that you put down? Whatever it is, let's do the groundwork. Let's be willing to have our faith stretched and expanded and enlarged. So I'm excited to share with you this season, and I'm excited for my friends to come on and share with you. It's going to be a good time. As I get ready to close, I just want to remind you all, as always, remember to eat well, think well, and live well until the next time. I will see you soon.